Good morning. Welcome to Keep the Faith with Pastor Frank. Um, Pray that everyone's got your coffee already. And I encourage you, if you don't have your coffee, go ahead and get it. Um, Always like, if you will, uh, if you join us, just type something so I know you're there. Always, of course, encourage you to share the stream or click like. Uh, Hopefully, it's and people can enjoy our little devotion this morning. We're going to be talking about renewing my walk with God. So it's good to see my sister Charlotte on this morning. Hope you and John are doing well. Brother Russell, good to see you again. Sheila, good to see you. Uh, so this morning, like I said, we're going to be talking about renewing my walk with God. And I don't know. Uh, I'm going to go ahead. We'll just go ahead and get started. So we're going to read out of Romans chapter 12, just two verses this morning. So um, it's it'll be Romans chapter 12, and we'll read two verses this morning. It said 1 and 2. And so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because of all He has done for you. Let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind He will find acceptable. This is truly the way to worship Him. Don't copy the behavior and customs of the world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. So there's a lot here this morning, and we'll talk about just a little bit of it. Uh, one of the things that I want to reiterate this morning. I think I clicked the wrong button, but I'm back. And so one of the things that uh, I want to really get across to people this morning, uh, the day of the church isn't over. I know everybody in is trying to get everybody to think that the day of the church is over and Christianity is we live in a post-Christian country. If we do, it's because we've not lived the way we should to be. But the day of the church isn't over. In fact, the church it actually belongs to Christ, and the church is the one that uh, Jesus is the one that is in charge of the church. So, uh, good morning, Brother James. Good to see you. So, but the church must choose what direction it's going to go, and we're going to have to choose whether it's the world's plan or God's plan. And I think everyone knows we're choosing God's plan. Good morning, Mother. It's good to see you online with us. One of the things that we need to talk about is a renewed walk with Christ. If you find yourself like a lot of us, that our walk needs some renewal, and a renewed walk with Christ involves a life of discipline. And so a disciplined life is a living sacrifice. Uh, the words living sacrifice describe a Christian life in its disciplined walk, daily walk. The thing is that each day we're supposed to present ourselves to do what the Lord wants to do, not so much what we want to do. And that could look like a lot of different things. I know that I'm not advocating that you just throw down everything, but I'm saying that we should give God an opportunity to tell us in the morning, every day, what it is He wants for us this each morning. So uh, we're actually told to present ourselves, not any animal, not any other thing for sacrifice, but present ourselves daily as a sacrifice. So our lives are supposed to be the sacrifice. I know, and I want to talk about the word sacrifice for just a moment. A sacrifice, when you sacrifice something to God, it's actually means something that you can't get back. It's not something that you can give back. Once you sacrifice it, it's in God's hands and you can't take it back. So a lot of people don't really, I think, take the uh, self-sacrifice to God seriously, because once you give yourself to God, you can't take it back. And that's something that we really need to understand, is you shouldn't even want to. You should just keep going with God. So in Luke 99 and Luke 9:23, it tells us to take up our cross daily. Uh, and the thing is that means that we should take up our responsibility to Christ every day. Uh, uh, a disciplined life uh, uh, thinks soberly. And in fact, the word, it means self-control. A disciplined life is self-control. We're not out of control. We're to think. Uh, I guess we could say we're in control of ourselves, not just at the control of every whim of whatever's going on. So um, we're to be have a humble and surrendered attitude, and this is actually something that I think is uh, important. We're not to have an argumentative relationship with God, but we're supposed to have a humble and submissive attitude. Uh, and Jesus said in Matthew 11:9, He says, "Take my yoke upon me and learn of me." So, and the truth is, if we want to renew our walk, this discipleship, or this being a disciple, is something that we need to take seriously. And so disciples are lifelong learners. So even though someone may be a very um, every someone may be a very advanced teacher, they are still a disciple. They're still learning also. So we just create more disciples. So uh, the yoke, when it says "take my yoke upon you," the yoke is a symbol of submission. Now, a lot of people in today's world haven't don't like to talk about submission, don't even like to think about it or what it could mean. But actually, submission to God is giving your life a living sacrifice, submitting to God. Uh, that means letting God tell us what to do, when to do it, how long to do it, all of those kind of things. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about submission, but if you really want to renew your walk with Christ, you really need to learn to submit yourself to Him and to learn to be humble. There's no second way to do it. There's no getting around it. You're just going to need to understand that we need to place ourselves under his command and submit to him. So, and then we let Christ be in control of our life. And really, not only that, we consent to being disciplined. We say yes, we want to live that disciplined life. We present ourselves a living sacrifice. We bring ourselves, we take ourselves before Christ and say, Christ, uh, we want what you intend for us. So uh, the thing that also we need to think about is all our life under Christ's control, not just part of it, the whole thing, all of our life. If we really want to renew, we're going to have to place ourselves in submission to Christ. And really, honestly, um, I think some people don't really think about it, but that's one of the happiest places to be is when we submit ourselves to Jesus Christ. So, uh, so think about some of the things if you want to renew your walk with Christ. I'm just going to mention a few things this morning. One, how disciplined is your attitude toward yourself and God and others? Uh, do you have a real love for the Lord and for your neighbors? This is a big one right here. How disciplined are your words? Uh, uh, Psalms 19:14 says, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight." And Proverbs 18:21 is one that I've used many times. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. So, how disciplined are your words? Uh, Another thing is, how disciplined are your morals? Uh, how disciplined is your worship? It says, enter into his gates with thanksgiving, Psalms 104. And I think a lot of people need to understand that worship really is a place to to uh, a place to where you can renew your walk with God. It really is a place where you can place yourself in attitude of worship, be in uh, atmospheres of worship, and it can really help renew your walk with God, renew your life. How disciplined are you in the grace of giving? Uh, in uh, How disciplined are you in your devotional life? And understand something. Having a short devotion is really important if you want to renew your walk uh, with uh, with Christ. Is just having that little short devotion, a little kind of like we do here in the morning, just something that's not real long, not uh, doesn't take a lot. It's just a time with God, and uh, that that helps renew your walk with God. I see a couple of other people have joined us this morning. Hello, Vanessa and Gail. It's good to see you um, on this morning. So, uh, the thing too is in your devotional life, you need to continue your devotional life as you continue in the Lord. It's not something that you do once or twice and then you're through with your devotional life. It should be a part of your discipleship. So, just a couple of other things. One other thing is how, how disciplined are you in your ministry? How well do you take care of your ministry? Do you pay attention to the ministry that God's given you, ministry or ministries? And the thing is that as we go through our life, a lot of things, some things happen. One, we can get off track a little bit if we're not careful. Renewing your walk with Christ is takes into consideration some of the things that I've mentioned this morning. It kind of gives you an idea of where you're at in your walk. And uh, another thing I want to mention: a lot of times the renewal process is not instantaneous. So It didn't take you instantaneously to get to a place where you needed to renew your walk, and it won't be an instantaneous renewal. Anybody that's ever restored a house or an old car or something like that knows that it takes a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of care to renew something. So if you want to renew your walk with Christ, you need to pay the same attention to that as you would doing any other kind of thing. So this morning, I think it's important for the people across our country, let's just say around the world, to begin to renew their walk with Christ. I think Jesus is coming, and I think it's time for the church to begin to band together, come together, and all of the disciples of the Lord Jesus Christ to begin to be the people God has called them to be, because there are still so many people that need to be reached. There are still so many people who haven't heard. There's still so many people that need to hear uh, the love, the salvation of Jesus Christ. So this morning, I just want to tell you, spend some time with God, even if it's just a few minutes. Spend some time with God every morning. Those of you that join me here in the mornings, I appreciate that. But if you'll just let it, it'll touch your heart. It'll help renew your walk with God. It'll help you think about godly things during the day. And I think that's something that we really need to do. So this morning, God bless you. I pray that God touches you and stirs your heart, encourage you, and lift up a prayer for all of those who are struggling. And we just pray that God would touch your heart and minister to each of you in Jesus' name. Keep the faith. God bless.